Happy Monday, kitty cats. And before we get into today's program, I want to tell you a little something about an event taking place in Colombia. That's right, the country of Colombia. Medellin, to be exact, a place I've been to and a place that is amazing. This is the 35th annual Liberty International World Conference in Medellin, Colombia. It's taking place from August 13th to 16th, 2020. If you come to this event, you're going to meet champions of freedom, not just from South America, but from all around the globe. You get to mingle, you get to connect with other libertarians all around the globe and see some amazing speakers. I saw Mary Ruart, past guest of the show, is going to be speaking at this conference. And you get to visit the beautiful city of Medellin, a place that I have visited and a place that I can tell you is amazing. So I highly recommend going just to go, forgetting the fact that there's a conference. But there is a conference, and if you are interested in checking it out, I want you to head to a very special link. That link is liwcolumbia.com/Lions. Don't forget to spell Columbia with 2 O's. There's no U in this version, my friends. liwcolumbia.com/Lions, and you get 10% off your ticket. Head there now.
Liberty Podcast. Here's your host, your guide, your shining beacon of liberty, Marc Claire.
All right, friends, we have gathered the whole crew today, the entire Lions of Liberty crew. Well, I guess it's not entire. It depends on how broad we want to make the word crew. It's the entire pride. No, they're not all here. But myself, my co-hosts, my fellow panelists, there are 6 of us. And if we're gathered together at the same time, there's probably a good reason for it. It means we're either somewhere like PorcFest or the LNC, where we'll be later this year, or it means that it's time for another iteration of the Liberty Draft. It is back. That's right. It's been a long time. I think last September was the last time we visited the Liberty Draft, and now we're going to finish this thing off. We've done 6 rounds of Liberty Drafting. We have 4 rounds we're going to bang out today. And I know we have a lot of new listeners. We got a lot of people that have come over from our Reason ads and various other places over the last few months. So if you're not familiar with the Liberty Draft, in fact, I've talked enough. Why don't I let John Odermatt, the host of Felony Friday. Hello, John.
Boy.
Why don't I let you? I'm putting you on the spot here. Why don't you give a 15-second summary of what the Liberty Draft is? Let's see how you can do on the spot.
So, Liberty Draft in 15 seconds is we pick people who would think have a good future, a good chance to make a big impact in 2020 in the Liberty universe. And we're picking future presidential, vice president, YouTube personalities, podcast personalities, influencers, and just random people who are going to grow the Liberty movement. I think that's pretty,
All right. Not
pretty
too
accurate.
bad. And then
And also Barack Obama has been picked.
And Barack Obama. We'll get to him later. And on this show, we're just going to try to finish the draft itself, and then the actual placements. As John mentioned, there's different slots, just like in a regular fantasy draft, a baseball, football draft. There are slots you can put certain players in, but we don't need to do all that today. That's going to be a totally separate show where we actually place everybody. This is just aligning our teams and assembling them, and where they land, well, that's up for consideration at this point still. But I think at this time, I've already brought you in first, so why don't I let you finish just telling me what you're drinking there, John?
Yeah, I got my sipping on my favorite brew, Sweetwater 420, and a little bit of Woodford Reserve. So going back to the well on that stuff.
All right, and so we don't forget me, as I often do. I'm just I'm taking it easy tonight. That means I'm just having some nice apple juice, or Angry Orchard in this case, which means I will have a headache tomorrow because these are very sweet and they give me a headache. But
what's the alcohol content on that Angry Orchard? It's not that much, is it?
I bet it's higher than you think. Want to take a guess?
Or like 5%.
5.2.
I bet Mark's higher than we think.
Well, no, it's lower than you think. Then it's 5. It's 5%.
Yeah.
I know. I'm never higher than you think. Okay, let's see. Up next, why don't we bring in the guy who's looking at his can like he doesn't know what it is that he's drinking? That is Howie Snowden from Leesburg, Virginia, or at least that's
Karen again. Ah!
Yeah, no, I know what I'm drinking. I was just looking for the alcohol content. I can't find it on here, but it's some Founders All Day IPA.
All day IPA.
Stuff.
It's a session ale.
How many sessions of that ale are you drinking today?
It was the first session of this ale.
It comes in an 18-pack, so I think they expect you to drink all 18 in a session.
Before the podcast, I was drinking the Dogfish Head sour ale.
How many did you have before the show? I'm going to guess 3. Higher, lower?
No, just one of those.
Just one? Okay. All right.
There are like those 20-ounce cans, but yeah,
So
just
3.
one.
Okay. Next up, we've got the Doctor of Science himself from the city of brotherly love. He is the man, the myth, the legend, JB Dr. Science Lubin. Doctor, welcome back.
Oh, thank you for the kind introduction. Appreciate it.
Does JB's voice get lower every time he starts talking on the podcast?
That wasn't low as much as it was. That wasn't as baritone as it's been some other times.
Yeah. The one show where he was unbelievably low voiced was creepy. It was like he was speaking in slow motion.
I thought he died that time. I thought he was literally just, we were hearing the last words he was going to ever deliver to the universe in podcast form, and then he was going to pass away. But he didn't. He's still here. Congratulations. That was Brian McWilliams, by the way, the host of Electric Liberty Land.
Yeah. I was going to come in. If you brought me in earlier, I was going to go.
You brought yourself in. I know you can.
Well, I don't think
say
JB
hello,
introduced
darkness,
what he
my
was
old friend.
drinking.
You know?
I know.
I did
was
not.
well. Speaking of bringing themselves in, there's Rico. So now everybody's here, and I was
JB
about
did
to.
stop talking though. That's on him.
No, I interrupted him.
Yeah, everyone just started talking.
What is that?
Cape May
Brewery. Yeah,
If
you
you're
can
new
read
to
that.
this format,
I
when
can
we
read it.
drink, when there's 6 of us and we drink a lot, we tend to talk over each other sometimes. So that's just going to happen. But what are you drinking there? Is that a can of wine?
No, it's Cape May Brewery. It's a King Porter Stout.
By the
Or
way, if
stout,
you're
actually.
wondering how I can see what these people are doing, well, it's not because I'm a member of the Pride. It's because I host the show and I run the Pride. But if you're in the Pride, you get to see live streams of this show. Even though Facebook was giving us trouble tonight, we always give the Zoom link to everybody so they can hop in and enjoy this recording with us. So that being said, what are you guys drinking? Brian, Rico, speak up.
Brian first.
Oh, good. I am
Thank you
drinking
for
the
sticking to order.
Glenlivet Founder. I'm not a big fan of Glenlivet in general, but this is Glenlivet Founders Reserve, and it's actually pretty good. American Oak Selection. So pretty tasty.
Should I be concerned that Brian's drinking scotch tonight? By the end of the show, it's going to
Probably. Well, I can't. I have like a new business call tomorrow morning at 10:30, which is not that early, but I don't want to be crazy drunk. But that's why I went with
Which
a
means you're
finer liquor.
absolutely getting crazy drunk.
Oh God, I feel horrible. Yeah, without a doubt. I'll get
that's
unbelievable.
early for crazy drunk, you know.
But I don't have any hard drugs to get into, so I'll be fine.
So you'll sleep tonight at
I'm
least.
sure there are
That's- yeah.
texts away,
Cut
my
to me
friend.
at 4 a.m, driving 120 miles an hour the wrong way on the 405, and then nailing this business call.
And finally, the man who just finished up, was it salmon, we decided?
Yes, it was salmon and some red skin potatoes.
You
But,
made all that in the 4 minutes?
That's
when we were-
Well, no, it was pre-made from the
They're raw.
grocery store. And then I just had to
Potatoes.
heat it up. I had to get George's dinner ready. Then he asked for a milkshake, and then I had to get
What
my
a jerk.
yeah.
Oh, well, I hope you slapped him
You
fairly
made a
hard.
milkshake in that time?
I did. I was
Wow.
What's
That's
wrong
going
with
all
you?
over.
What is-
Jordan is
Fucking
Rico's
super
son,
dad
not his
over
demand
here.
and roommate for those.
all
new.
the problems of his life. I know why now, because Rico makes a milkshake.
Well-
instead of backhanding him across the room and telling him to shut up and do homework.
for today. I'm actually going by a new moniker in honor of. I listened to a Pride episode yesterday. I listened to the debate recap, and I'd like to be known as post-arrest Rico. So, so you can refer that to me.
It's like
Or-
Post Malone, but a little bit longer.
Except
Yes.
with less face tattoos and money
Yes,
and sexual
Yes.
proclivity.
yes. There's a lot less when you compare Post Malone to post-arrest. And I am drinking some vodka and LaCroix. I believe that's seltzer water.
That is
Fantastic.
correct.
Okay. I don't know
Water
what the
with
difference.
bubbles.
So tonic water is just shitty water without bubbles, and
Sonic
seltzer-
has.
It tastes terrible.
Quinine.
One has sugar, one doesn't, right?
Yeah,
It's-
that's the
No,
weird
one
thing,
has
right?
quinine
It
in it,
has
and
sugar
one
in
is
it.
just carbonated water.
Tastes
I've never heard of quinine
It's
before.
not
It's
sugar. It's just
terrible.
Weird, it's
It
just a
only
weird thing.
you can't drink it without gin.
Quinine is actually the Q in LGBTQ.
It's the Q and Q and on.
Used over the years, but that's actually what it is.
Just lump that in there. Lobby for that, too.
Is that why I hate gin and tonic? I always
Gin and
assumed it
tonic.
because I hate
Heyo.
gin.
And we like tonic water. We're here. We're here.
Yeah. All right. Well, there was a lot of people talking there, but anyways, that's what I'm drinking.
Well, great. And it's a good thing that you finish up your meal and you're all, hopefully your stomach has settled a little bit. Probably not.
But I'm already done with my drink, and
Well, guess
it's
what?
pretty
You're the
strong.
first-
So,
you're the first one up.
are we
Because
starting?
Last time.
Am I recapping, or
Yeah,
am I
do
just picking?
Do a very quick recap. I'll give the
recap.
real recap, and that's that every single year Rico finds a way to make a pick that really shouldn't be allowed, but he always finds something that there is no rule about, so we technically Can't disallow it. But the last one being, why don't you start with your last pick just to sum everybody up on the kind of ridiculous ideas that
Well,
cross your
my
mind.
6th round pick, are you talking about?
No, your last pick
Yeah.
was your ghost pick, who is not a libertarian.
Well, I wasn't talking about the
Yeah,
ghost.
the
I'm just
ghost.
talking-
Yeah, don't
I
worry
don't
about the
know.
ghost picks.
Yeah, forget the ghost pick.
So here are ghost picks. You can listen to the Halloween special from Electric Liberty.
I love my ghost picks.
You can talk about it if you want, but I just care about
Pretty
your real
solid.
jam.
They're actually pretty strong picks. They might be your two best.
Jesus Christ is not a libertarian.
I disagree.
I
think
beg
it
to
is.
differ on that.
Well, it's a controversy. Is
I
he a
think we're gonna have to
ghost?
have a
Is he a
whole show on
libertarian? There's
We're
so
gonna
many
have to
things.
have a whole
to get
show
into.
on this now.
I would
Even real.
be very interested in doing a bonus show on Is Jesus Christ a Libertarian?
More libertarian
That
than
sounds
Obama.
like a great show for you guys to publish and produce on your own time.
He's
but
more
during this
libertarian
amount
Joe
of time,
Rogan.
Fair enough.
All right, Rico, recap your draft. We got a lot to do.
All right, 1st round, Justin Amash. 2nd round, Thomas Massey. 3rd round, Jess Mears. 4th round, Julian Assange. I love reading back these picks tonight.
They're really
5th
all over the
round,
place.
Ben Swan. 6th round, Do Nothing Man.
A fictional character that is technically not violating this year's rules, but I assure you it will violate next time's rules.
And you can find Do Nothing Man on YouTube as well as the Facebook page I created for him. New episode will be coming next month after this baby is more stable.
And I do have a keeper pick in round 8, so I'm losing a pick.
May as well tell
tonight.
us about that one.
Howie Snowden.
Wow, look at that.
Yes.
So far, the only Lion of Liberty that has been drafted.
So people made fun of you, Rico, for that round 3 Jess Mears pick, but within the past month, she has started a podcast. So
A
I don't
podcast
know.
that you
Who
can only
made fun
watch.
of me?
A podcast you can only watch in a private Facebook group. So I'm not going to
Please
call it a
tell me her
podcast yet.
podcast. Please tell me her podcast is called Pap Smears. Because I really hope.
God.
Did you guys see she gave
I
the
have a
libertarian
feeling-
platform to Tulsi Gabbard?
I did. See
I
that.
did see that.
Did you say she has a podcast you can only watch?
You can only
No.
watch it. Yes, I
You
said
can only watch
No,
a podcast?
I got it on my
intuitive.
I got it on my iTunes.
It's like a book you can only listen
No,
to.
They did a soft launch in private, and I believe they're going to expand it.
It's like watching television that's Braille. It doesn't make any sense.
All right, so we have come to this crucial juncture where we're going to be rounding up this draft. Who are you going to add to this ragtag team of sitting congressmen, LP employees, jail journalists, unjailed journalists, members of this show, and a fictional character? What a fucking group we have here. What are you going to do next?
So I was gonna shock the other Lions of Liberty by drafting an actual person who
believe
is
you.
very tied to Liberty, and then I looked at my spreadsheet and I saw he's already been picked. So that really threw me for a loop. So I was going to draft Jacob Hornberger because I never heard of him before like 2 days ago. But I must have heard of him because I was on the draft where he was drafted. So maybe I was like going to the bathroom at the time. But yeah, I'm not going to draft him. So my next step in figuring out who I would draft was to go to my old podcast app. Look at the Lions of Liberty Pride episodes
recent,
and,
yes.
and scroll down to see Mark's interviewed during the Lions of Liberty or the Libertarian Convention that happened to be at the hotel I stay at constantly.
It's got to be Lincoln Chafee, isn't it?
That's where
No,
Rico had,
it is not.
Rico had a super hot babysitter one time, like unbelievably
she
hot
was
when
really
Jordan was
hot.
very young. She was
Is that-
shockingly beautiful.
Is that your pick?
Oh, if I knew who she was, I
Really
would.
hot babysitter.
I don't know what her political leanings are, but she's super, super hot.
I vote permitting Rico to put very hot babysitter that stayed at the same hotel as the LA convention.
Actually, a quick tangent. So
This whole thing isn't a tangent?
yes, so
This whole show is a tangent.
a tangent to the tangent of Jordan's super hot babysitter at the Libertarian Convention Hotel is he had another babysitter. Like I had to be in Knoxville for work. Like when he was in kindergarten, I brought him with me and I got a babysitter just to come to the office and sit there with him. And she like, I never met her, but she was like, "Oh, can you just add me on Facebook? I want to make sure you're like a real person and everything." And so I added her. It turns out she was a University of Tennessee cheerleader
Nice.
who is now, and I'm somehow still Facebook friends with her. She's now
Friendship has lasted.
a Tennessee Titans cheerleader, and goddamn.
Wow.
And she blossomed.
Can you get
Oh,
us
you were. I need to somehow inherit your babysitter.
And that's why
baby-
she's your 7th round draft pick.
Yes!
Welcome to the show, Miss Molly
Holy
Tennessee
Burnett.
fuck.
cheerleader.
Yes, she is so hot. So it almost makes me a Tennessee Titans fan.
Maybe she's a Lions Liberty fan. We'll know.
I
after this
doubt
episode.
it. I think she's too busy being hot and probably dating NFL players.
That
We
does
do
take a
have
lot
some
of time.
very.
But she was very nice and very attractive, so she's making someone a happy mistress.
We have
Are there any libertarian NFL players?
I
Nope.
I'm sure there are.
None.
But anyway,
anyways, I forgot I was supposed to make a pick.
how many times during this episode do you think I'll say? But anyway, trying to get us back to the.
So I scrolled down and I found an interview of a person that I thought would be a great addition to my team. He wears a boot on his head,
I knew
I
it.
knew it.
My
Unbelievable.
first pick today.
and his name is Vernon Supreme.
No, it's
I
not.
don't know anything else about him, but
His name is Vermin Supreme, but you
Vermin.
drafted Vernon Supreme.
Yes, yes.
Let me look
Which means
Technically,
Vermin's
yeah.
still open to be
Yeah,
drafted
whoever
by
that
me.
is, this vermin fella you speak of.
I hope I
Vernon.
can find a real Vernon.
That's
Vermin
Vernon
Supreme. The
Supreme.
card was not in. I'm taking Vermin.
You can have it.
I bet there is a Vernon Supreme. He's so pissed off about
trying to
Vernon
find-
Supreme.
Sure, I
He's like-
guarantee you there is.
He just wore a shoe on his head, and no one thought it was
It's a
cool.
Frenchman named Vermin Supreme, and he's very upset about the
So,
situation.
so he wasn't wearing the boot on his head at the California
he
convention.
had
That's
it
weird.
with him. I think he put it on stage during the debate one time, but he was mostly without the boot.
But
Is he like actually starting to take it seriously now? Like he could win?
He's definitely taking it seriously.
I mean, I know.
I really like him. I
think he's running a legitimate campaign in the sense that he is sincerely trying to win the nomination. He's not joke trying to win the nomination. He's trying to win the nomination to be a satirical joke candidate for the party, but he's
Right.
not joke trying to run for that office, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. Actually.
Could you guys talk more about his policies? Because I don't know them.
No,
You, you haven't read iPony, A Plan for a New America?
I have not.
He wants
Are you a
everyone.
pony?
Everyone gets a pony. You got
I
to take
did
the
see that.
pony with you everywhere.
I see. I did do a little bit of research in this last 2 minutes. I went on his Wikipedia page and I saw that he wants everyone to have a pony. And I'm like, well, that doesn't seem very libertarian. But then it says he's a part of the Libertarian Party. So
Well, I don't
That's
think he's
good enough
gonna.
for Rico.
I don't think it's gonna be paid for with tax money. He said because ponies breed. He could just breed more.
he's going to
Yeah, he
breed
just wants
300 million ponies.
Yeah, yeah. No
He's
theft.
not forcing you to get one. He just wants you
No,
to
he
have
is
one.
forcing
Oh,
me
you
get
have
one.
to have a pony. It's
No, that
actually
is-
We
that
have
is
to have a
part of
pony?
this policy.
That's definitely not libertarian.
I
I
think you have.
I don't have space for a pony.
Well, you're gonna have to make space. If that means kicking out the wife,
And-
then that's what that means.
In 2 years, when he wins and he's president, we're going to have a pony in the background of Dr. Science. Just like, that is where I keep my pony. Sorry.
I have nowhere else to put it.
Just be putting his head on JB's shoulder.
All right. Well, that's an excellent pick. I think it's very fitting for your team, to be quite honest. As much as I wanted to draft him myself, I did have my eyes on Mr. Supreme. I do feel he belongs on. Are you still Team TV?
Yeah, I'm still workshopping my name.
All right, we're bouncing ideas around.
Might be Team Pony. I don't know.
I've always hated my team names. I still hate my team name of Lost in the Woods. We are Lost in the Woods because I'm always kind of lost, first of all. Second of all, because Tom Woods leaves the charge of my team as my first round pick, followed up by a pick that someday you guys are going to realize how fucking brilliant it is with Drew Carey, one of the most famous libertarians that exists.
His wife just got murdered. His ex, or no, his
His
ex-fiance.
wife is that ex-girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend.
Ex-fiancé.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that really
Murdered.
de-escalated quickly from wife
Do you
to
hear? By the way, did
ex-fiancé.
you hear this? This fucking story is insane. Did you
Very
read about
sad.
it?
Very sad.
Well,
Dude,
I'm
it's like
sure
it's
we're about
crazy.
to.
Wait,
Well,
isn't this the one where they?
Joy Reid didn't seem too broken up about it, or whoever it was that made fun of it.
Yeah,
Wendy
they made fun of
Williams,
it.
maybe.
Wait, wasn't? Wait, maybe I'm confusing stories. Is this the one that she was
I
like
guess that's
around the stunt person, and like two people came to the house? They had a shootout, right? This is
Yeah, you were
2000.
definitely confusing the stories. This
Yeah,
is-
she-
she
like-
had an
like-
ex-boyfriend
Yeah.
who she had a restraining
Oh, no,
order
this is the
against,
stalker. This is the stalker.
and they lifted their. No, it was her ex-boyfriend, not Drew Carey. At first, when I read it, I'm like, wait a minute, did Drew Carey kill his ex-fiance? But
not
no,
very
that didn't
libertarian.
happen.
That'd be a nap violation.
So the restraining order was lifted for whatever reason or expired. I don't know how that works. Maybe Rico could comment on that. And I don't know if they started dating or what happened, but they saw each other, and then he broke in her place and threw her off the balcony.
As soon as the restraining order came off, she's like, "Let's get back together. I love you." That's the way it always happens.
So I forget who it was. I think it was Joy Reid was talking about it, or one of those fucking horrible people. And she's like, and Drew Carey's ex-girlfriend, come on down.
Oh, Joy Behar, maybe, right?
Oh, maybe. I don't
I
know.
thought it was like
She's
Wendy
the
Williams.
comedian, quote unquote.
Yeah, it was Wendy Williams. Yes.
It wasn't- okay.
And kind of
It's, like,
tasty.
it's not even funny. Like if it was
No.
funny, I would laugh at something like that. So,
Yeah.
poor
Oh, yeah.
Ted.
Mark's reading. Anyways.
Thank you, Rico. Anyway, back
Do you
to my
think?
team.
Well, here's the better reference. It'll be like the one pulled from Happy Madison or not.
I'm not
Happy
gonna allow you
Gilmore.
guys to break
The Price
me. I know
is
what you're
Wrong, bitch. That's the reference you want to make if you're going to make.
I mean, come on down is appropriate
Okay.
because she actually fell down.
She
Well,
fell
yeah,
down,
and-
but I.
And Drew Carey wasn't in The Waterboy, so that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
The phrase is from Happy Gilmore when he's
Right.
fighting with Bob Barker. The
Right.
Price is Wrong, bitch.
Was it Bob
none of which has
Barker's
anything to do
ex?
with Drew Carey, except that he now hosts The Price is Right.
He now hosts The Price is Right.
Which is why that's still not a good reference because it's not Drew Carey we're referencing. Anyway,
The
moving on.
phrase exists to exist. It's not in the ether.
Let's spend the next hour on Drew Carey. Just on
Is
on my
JB gone or
introduction.
is he backlit? I can't tell.
He's feeding the pony. All right. After Drew Carey, we've got well-known WWE wrestler and mayor of Knox County, Tennessee, the most libertarian mayor in the United States. I'm going to just formally declare that to be the case. Glenn Jacobs, 7-foot monster. If you're watching WWE TV, he's probably 6'9", but they always say 7 feet for tall guys. Next up, Lynn Ulbricht. I almost said the wife of Ross Ulbricht. That's not true. It's the mother of Ross Ulbricht, who we all know as the founder of Silk Road, libertarian cryptocurrency champion. And, of course, I then follow that up with Vince Vaughn. Recently on the Tom Woods Show. Some of you didn't love him on the Tom Woods Show. I thought he was perfectly fine.
I thought it was good.
For a famous guy
he's
who
not a
doesn't read as
scholar,
much.
for fuck's sake.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like he's an actor. He's got better things to do, but he chose to read up on Liberty.
Yes,
Give him
exactly.
a fucking break. How about
For
that?
a guy who could be partying 24/7, he knew a lot.
Yeah. What does he have to gain from going on a libertarian show? Nothing.
He has a lot to lose, actually.
You can party and know about libertarianism. Come on now.
You can, and you should. And you do. And we do.
Well, he did get that DUI recently, so he's still partying.
Which, yeah.
He's
maybe
still keeping
maybe
it
I
real.
won't run him as my president. We'll see. I've then got Miss Carrie Wedler, my 6th round pick. And finally, my 7th round pick, which is about to be taken. And this I think a lot of my draft is actually based on trying to spite people. Because I drafted Lynn Ulbricht just to spite Odie, so he couldn't pair with Ross Ulbricht. I'm actually doing this also somewhat, not to spite Odie, but to get ahead of him, because I know that Odie already has a crush, a man
I already
crush
know you're picking.
on this person. So I'll just say I am drafting Mark Whitney
I
in my
knew it,
7th
I knew it.
round pick.
I knew it.
Because while I hadn't heard of him until about 3 weeks ago, meeting him at the convention, seeing him in person, listening to Felony Friday, seeing his stand-up comedy special, you realize he's a very talented guy. He's very charismatic. He has money, which is always good to have on a Liberty draft team and in a real-life presidential race. And I think he's going to go far in this party. I don't know if he'll be the presidential nominee, but I think he's somebody we're going to know about over the years to come. So for that reason, and mostly also to keep him off of Odie's team, I'm drafting Mark Whitney. Now, Odie, was I accurate in my assessment that you had him on your radar?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was 100% going to pick
So
him.
mission accomplished.
There you go.
So what you going to do now, team Make Liberty Great Again?
Well, of course, I have a backup plan because I looked at the order and I saw that you were picking in front of me.
And
so
you
I
knew by history.
I
of
figured
spite
he would be
picks.
gone, which is fine. I'm glad he got
So
picked.
everything's
Are you
going
going to
according
draft
plan.
Mark Whitney's son and his $15 million out of his
I will say
bedroom,
that
business?
both of his sons are apparently brilliant and multimillionaires. So, yeah, it'd be nice to have a LP presidential candidate who actually makes money and doesn't have terrible hair. So that's a good thing. I'm going to stop promoting Mark's team. I got to stop.
Oh,
You
please.
pick Larry
Don't stop
Levine,
on my
aren't you?
account.
So to go through my team real quick, I started out on with Larry Sharp. I think I kept him, actually. I had him before. And then Maj Touré, he's been through a bit of a controversy here in the LP. Won't get into that, but he's officially not in the
Oh, we
Libertarian
can't get
Party
into that.
anymore.
We can do
but
10 minutes on introducing Drew Carey.
but that's fine. And then Eric July, Ross Ulbricht, who I picked before Mark picked Lynn Ulbricht.
That was the pick you stopped trying to show people that you weren't racist.
He's like, all right, 3 is enough. People are really going to believe it now, right?
Wait, Ross Ulbricht isn't black? He's in prison, right? Yeah.
It's
No,
actually
but-
Russell Albrecht.
Ford Fisher is, though.
Ford Fisher. Honestly, I think Ford Fisher, I can't believe nobody else has talked about Ford Fisher. I think he's doing tremendous work. Obviously, with his the work that he does in the media with shooting all these different events and, getting really into some pretty heated situations.
He just took him too early.
Maybe. Probably not, though. He doesn't, make his political beliefs known when he's doing that, but you follow him on Facebook, you know where he stands, and he's doing God's work. And then, of course, Alex Merced, the current vice chair of the Libertarian Party. Not sure if he's running again.
He's actually already announced that he's not. So,
well, there you go.
Not a great long-term future there, at least in that role.
Well, that's just going to free up more of his time to do something else that I will consult with Alex about. And
I'm sure you'll be the first he comes to about.
That you're going to pressure him into? Is that what you're trying to say?
No. It'll be his decision. So with my next pick, I could go a lot of different ways here. The pick, I will make a very controversial pick tonight. It's not going to be in this slot, but this one might be surprising, being that some people might think that this gentleman and myself disagree on such things as eating meat.
Oh, you fucker.
You son of a gun.
And things of that nature.
Stole my pick.
But I got to pick Mr. Anthony Samaroff of the Scottish Liberty Podcast.
Well, if you're going to pick him, you should learn to say his name right, because it's Anthony, not Anthony.
I said Anthony.
I heard. No, it's not Anthony. It's Antony.
Oh, Anthony. Well,
Anthony Samaroff will be hanging out with Vernon Supreme. They've got their own podcast. It's called the One Letter Off Podcast.
Vernon and Anthony.
Do they not use the TH in Scotland in names?
I think that's just the Italian way to pronounce Anthony.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Probably.
Anthony, can you come in and help with the meatballs, please? Yeah, Anna Long Island. She's got to go in like Marc's got. We don't want it to squirt into the balls.
Anthony.
Anyway, I have a lot of respect for Anthony Samaroff. And even though we will have an upcoming debate here eventually at some point about eating meat versus veganism, about hunting, and all that stuff. So
I can't wait.
Glad to have him on my team.
By the way, did any of you listen to the quick aside, the debate that he did with the guy about the robots?
The guy about
it was Anthony versus like Marc something.
Talking about the UBI debate?
No.
Automation.
It was
it's about automation, wasn't it?
Yeah, a Soho Forum debate about automation with a New York Times best-selling. I think he might be a columnist for the New York Times, but he wrote a couple of books about automation, and it was a smackdown ass beating. I mean, I've never seen a man beat somebody so thoroughly and so unapologetically in a public forum like Anthony beating down this other guy, Marc.
Why are you hyping up Odie's team?
I like it.
I'm just saying it was fucking awesome, man.
Yeah. Well, I used to like him till he joined Team Make Liberty Great Again.
Yep. And then you have Bob Murphy too. Moving on.
Now I have my questions. And he's got Bob Murphy as a keeper.
In round 9.
All right,
Bob Murphy really moved up over the last couple of years.
By far, my favorite team name. Barriott Tubman's Backdoor Basketball Couch. We are not going to do a quick aside explaining that name. You have to go listen to every draft show, which I'll post links to in this episode to go figure out why that is your team name, JB.
Yeah, it's too long and convoluted to recap.
It's literally an episode-long story. It actually stems from the episode that we referenced earlier when JB had the extremely baritone Barry White voice, and I thought he was almost dead.
Barry Weiss?
That was it, wasn't it? Well, anyway, so I guess I can run down my my team here. I've got Ron Paul. I picked up Ron Paul in the supplemental draft because he wasn't available in the first draft, so it was pretty much a no-brainer on that part.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, well, shit happens. What can I say? So then for my second pick, I picked up John Stossel to round out my media team, and then I got Ovens O'Brien as well as Peter Schiff. I don't know.
Peter Schiff.
Also on the podcast with Anthony and Vernon. It's like the Dave Rubens.
And then I also have Barack Obama in round 5. I'm not quite sure how I have Barack Obama because I'm pretty sure I had blacked out by that point when he was picked.
You were pretty adamant in picking him, and you were very drunk and belligerent.
You were very
adamant. You know what?
Said, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep him.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Yeah, and I'm basically sticking to it.
Is that Senator Barack Obama before he became president and started?
Yeah.
No, it's community organizer Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Very, very beginning, the prequel. And then I rounded out my picks with Mr. Bowtie himself, Jeffrey Tucker. And for 7, I was going to pick Samurov. I really didn't think Odie was going to take him because of his last appearance on the podcast. Was not expecting that. So I'm going to fall to my second player on the list here, Mr. Penn Jillette.
Yeah, he hasn't been picked yet?
No, he has not.
Believe it or not, he's never been drafted in a Liberty draft.
That's amazing. I thought he was gone.
Everyone picked so far today was on my short list.
But really, Teller is the more. I mean, he's really the more libertarian, non-aggression principle. He doesn't even talk. He just stands there, does nothing.
Fair enough. But Penn Jillette actually has the honor of actually like really the first libertarian I was conscious of. Someone who I knew in the public sphere who described themselves as a libertarian well before like I really knew what a libertarian was.
Before it became cool.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So I thought, and he's pretty funny. I enjoy him on everything he comes on. So I wanted to grab him, put him on my team. I think he's a solid pick, especially in the 7th round. I think that's pretty strong for 7th round.
It is very strong.
It's a good pick. I would have picked him earlier if I knew he wasn't already picked.
Yeah, it's a solid pick.
We don't want to forget your 9th-round keeper. Another.
Oh yeah, that's right.
One.
I've got and then and also in the supplemental draft, I picked up Joe Rogan in the 9th round. He's not a libertarian, but he was picked in the last draft, so I figured in the 9th round, why not? I just love him too much.
I picked him.
Got to stay alive.
I agree with JB. It's a great pick.
Mm-hmm. It's got a big platform.
Yeah, can't wait.
He's my media mogul.
Your libertarian media
he's my
moguls out
podcaster.
there endorsing Tulsi Gabbard and Bernie Sanders and talking about universal health care. It's going to be great. I can't wait to hear it. All right, moving along. Wake up, Punchy, Brian.
Wake up, Punchy. Yeah.
Well, hold up. In his defense, the Democrats he likes.
JB, like how I give JB no
in his defense, the Democrats he likes are the Democrats that are most liked by libertarians. Is coincidence?
Not bad.
Coincidence?
Well, I guess Bernie Sanders
also
kind of
in Joe Rogan's
though.
Also in Joe Rogan's defense, he has a platform people listen to. So.
So you can say whatever you want. You can be
say?
a big-time socialist.
Yeah.
Was he
not a socialist?
Is he?
Also, JB only drafts ghosts named Frederick.
He gets people to.
I was also going to pick up Frederick Engels if we could put in a round 3, but I don't know if we're ready for that.
Joe Rogan gets people to hear Dave Smith and Michael Malice, 2 people on my team.
See that would be.
Yeah, he just had Michael Malice on.
That would be
he's had him several times.
Nothing can ever top the Alex Jones on Joe Rogan. Nothing.
That was pretty great.
In fact, someone should draft Alex Jones. In fact, maybe I'll draft Alex Jones.
Is Alex Jones a libertarian?
No,
I guess he's more libertarian than Joe Rogan.
He thinks he is.
Barack Obama, I'll tell you that.
Are you really basing your picks based on that? Is that
I am now basing
you
every
set
pick.
the bar.
I'm now
JB.
basing every pick on Barack Obama. Yes. If they're
I
more
guess I
libertarian
picked Frederick
Obama,
Engels then.
Yeah, if they're above Barack Obama, they're on the board.
All right, I'm going through my
Hey,
team.
Punchy, go ahead. See,
All right, number 1, Rand Paul. He's still I'd say top 2 senators out there. So Rand Paul, number 1.
Wait,
I
who's
took
number 1?
Pete Quinones.
Wait, who's the number 1 senator now?
Pete Quinones is number 1.
No, Pete Quinones is my second pick. No, for the senators, I don't know. I mean,
Who's the better senator?
I don't know.
There's
Probably
no-
tied with maybe Mike Lee.
Wow,
Yeah.
tied, huh?
I don't know. I think because Rand's still very good, but he's pissed me off on a couple of things. But Rand, number 1. Pete Quinones, Mance Raider at number 2, who now, of course, is gone up since I took him because he's also managing editor of the Libertarian Institute. Kennedy, very popular and a woman. Not that means anything to me, but just to me, she is a woman.
Well, you do need one female mainstream media host, so it might.
What do we got? Binders, a woman, Mark. We got to put in this spot.
Binders and binders.
So Kennedy with my number 3 pick.
Spreadsheets.
Thomas Sowell or Sowell, I should say, not Sowell. I was trying to be. I was trying to be grand. I was trying to be grandiose with it, but yeah, Thomas Sowell.
He's still alive.
He is still alive. Yes.
Wasn't he like 80 in the 1970s?
Well, he's
Like if you watch any of those
always
old
the same
YouTube
age.
clips,
Yeah,
he
I've
looks
never seen
like
him that old.
yeah.
Well, he's like Larry David. Larry David's been like
exactly. Larry David's been the same looking from this. Like he was on Seinfeld 30 years ago. He looks the exact same. Okay.
That's true, actually.
Some
I never
people look
thought about
70
that.
when they're 30, and then also 70 when they're 70.
Why is somebody just blanking in? It's distracting me. Stop blanking in shit on the sheet and making fucking grids. Gene Epstein, the godfather of the New York libertarian scene, with a fantastic pick in round 5. Of course, Gene also runs the Soho Forum, just to remind everybody. Judge Napolitano.
Say Tom Woods
6.
at the bar for a free drink.
Yes, say Tom Woods at the bar. Judge
Only
Napolitano coming in. Even though I think he has some TDS, he's still fantastic. And then with my 7th round pick, I'm going to sneak in, my good friend out here in Los Angeles, my man Jason Stapleton.
Oh, it's going to cause quite a rift in the romantic relationship when he finds out he was only the 7th pick.
The 7th round pick.
I hate to be talking up your pick, Brian, but you talked up my pick, so I think it's only fair. But honestly, I've been listening to his podcast again, and I think it's way better than it was before.
Dude,
and it's still very libertarian.
It's very libertarian, but again, it's now packaged in a package that is not going to turn people off right away. He's winning more converse. Fuck, the guys from Good Morning Liberty are buying, like, they reference him all the time. I think they were more influenced by Stapleton than us. If you can believe that, bullshit. But I think it is possible and maybe even true.
No one has influenced more people to randomly start libertarian podcasts than us. I'm willing to stand.
That's probably true.
And that probably is true, actually.
I agree with that. But yes, I think Stapleton is an absolute steal. He still has a very, very potent and well listened to platform. In addition to all the stuff he does with his other side businesses, as far as investing and messaging and leadership, he still has a huge listenership, and he's still very much libertarian. So there you go, Jason Stapleton, a steal in round 7.
All right, and finally, Howie, lay it on us here. Tell us a little bit about your team and give us 2, not 1, but 2 draft picks. What is Howie going to do with 2 draft picks?
All right,
and 15.
Carr in the 7th to round out the Fadcast team.
I think if you're libertarian, people are probably familiar with most of my picks already. So we got John McAfee, Scott Horton, Jacob Hornberger, who's going to be the presidential candidate, Michael Malice, Dave Smith, and Bird from the Friends Against Government podcast. For my, what round is this? 8th?
Oh, can I jump in real quick on the Democratic debate podcast yesterday? I liked when Howie was signing off. He's like, "You guys got the greatest podcast. You're so funny." Meanwhile, you're on a different libertarian podcast.
Meanwhile, Carr doesn't even want to promote his show. He doesn't even. He's like, "No, don't listen to our show. It's terrible."
That's what I always say when I'm on other shows too.
It is terrible. No, it's not bad. It's not bad.
It's fine.
So, anyways, my 8th round pick is someone who also has a podcast and is on the terrestrial airwaves.
I knew it was going to be.
She really sees through all the bullshit. She can make some good drinks.
Oh, damn it, Howie.
And I am picking Monica Perez.
I knew it.
That's a good one.
There we go. That was my next pick. Fucking bastard. She is a good pick. She was just on Dave Smith's show, too. You're welcome, Monica, for we blew you up, and now you're coming on Dave Smith's show.
Dude, she's been putting out some good daily.
Dave was like, she was on Lions of Liberty.
Yeah, man.
Well, Booker. I don't know why he sounds like
not what he sounds
just like Bernie Sanders. Wow.
That's exactly what he sounds like. You guys know.
That's Dave Schmidt. Just like he's also on the podcast with Anthony.
With Vernon.
Hey, I'm Dave Schmidt, and this is One Letter Off with Anthony
and Robbie the Water Berenstain.
So my 9th round pick, kind of like
9th round pick. How about your 8th round pick? Can we have that instead?
Wasn't that my 8th round pick?
No, that was your 7th round pick. Anytime you want to start keeping up is fine.
Oh yeah. There we go. Oh, it's the 9th. It's the 9th. It's the 9th line because the first line is the team.
You can't trust the rows.
Gets me every time.
Look, now you have numbers next to it, just for you.
All right. So for my 8th round pick, kind of like my 7th, I'm looking for up and comers. I think are going to do big things in Liberty in the coming year. Now that Blast Off is back, great show, and due to the Rico rule, I can't just take the show. I am picking
Blast Off back.
I am picking Raylene because
whoa!
Even while they were off, she's got a strong Twitter game, strong Facebook game. She's always putting lots of stuff out there, and I think their show is going to do awesome, and she is a great pick in my opinion.
Howie's really making up for his complete lack of women in the first 6 rounds.
Well,
Overcompensating, maybe? Because you hate women? Is that why?
no. I knew you guys did, and you weren't going to take the ones I liked in the early rounds, so I was able to wait because of your misogyny.
Wow, that's nice. A good comeback.
So far, Brian and Odie have the most misogynistic teams with no females at all.
It's not my fault that people keep snatching up all my.
Wait till my next pick.
Well, it is your fault actually because you didn't pick him earlier.
I picked Kennedy with my third pick. That's all I need.
Wait, she is on your team this year. Okay, so now actually Odie's the only misogynist.
I know who Odie's going to pick next.
A black woman.
So you should please
I'll do it now. I'll take Julie Borowski.
No, I'm not going to pick Julie Borowski.
He sounds so disgusted. If I was Julie Borowski, I'd be very offended at how disgusted.
No, I mean, Julie Borowski is great, but I mean, it's
I would never.
I just don't think she has the. Does she even do libertarian stuff anymore?
She gives some talks, and she has a book.
I mean, I have nothing against her. I just haven't heard.
I haven't seen
Sounds
her.
like you have something against her.
In
I haven't seen her. I haven't seen her around.
I mean, and look, I'm picking a woman with my 8th round pick. What happens if you turn it 8 sideways? Looks like boobs.
It's a good point.
That's good rationale for that pick, Brian.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's like quantum
Sound
physics.
strategy.
I do what I can.
Hey, if anyone's still looking for a woman libertarian, you can draft Marc's Facebook profile picture. With his hair flowing in the wind. What the fuck? I just fucking clicked on Facebook and that's what popped up. I'm like, who's this?
I'll put it this way: if you draft me, the profile picture does come with it, so you can do that. That's the rule. You can't draft my picture, but you can draft me.
It is deceiving because when the profile picture is
When
zoomed
it's
down
loading?
real small, I'm like, wait a minute, how did a chick get in this chat? Oh, wait a minute, it's just Mark.
It is deceiving because at first you think you see Jesus and God at once in one being, and then you realize you are, and it's me.
Did you tint your hair?
No, everybody says that. It's the light.
Yeah, it looks very,
My hair's
very
normal
red
now.
there.
It's the way it was reflecting off Brian's angry face, I think, at the time during the podcast.
Wait, where was that picture taken?
It
was that at
during
the
our
convention?
podcast, yeah. It was during
Oh,
our LPF California podcast.
there you go.
Anyway, who you picking?
Was that when Star Child came over and
That
you
was,
were
that was exactly when Star Child came
fixing
over,
your hair
actually.
for him?
Maybe I was reflecting
Well,
off Star
Barrier
Child.
Tubman is up.
It's me.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, bury it.
Oh, okay. For this round, I think I'm going to pick the founder and head of the 10th Amendment Center. And
Ooh.
Oh, you son of
Yeah.
a bitch.
yeah, that's right. And Mark's personal best friend, Mr. Michael Bolden.
My actual
Or
best
that-
friend.
Michael Bolton, actually. Bolton.
I thought it was Bolden.
Bolton. Michael Bolton is going to be on that
No,
podcast.
Bolden.
That's
With Vernon
a great
Supreme.
that's a great pick, Davey. I had him on. I was gonna take Bolden before.
He's just saying this
Borowski.
now so Bolton isn't mad at him. in
No,
real
no,
life.
because Odie scared me though, talking about taking a woman with his pick, and I was like, "Fuck, I guess I'll jump Borowski up." You did. You scared me. I was like, I don't want to lose my woman, so I jumped her up because I had Bolden. I was going to take Bolden next. I thought he'd be an afterthought.
Oh, not for me.
Well,
It was
good
high on
enough.
my draft list.
Well, it's about time you made a decent fucking pick.
That's fair.
Arguably the most libertarian person on your list. Well, no, you got Ron Paul and Jeffrey Tucker.
Oh, yeah, Bolden's a solid number 2.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
Tucker's above him.
Good 2-3.
Tucker, really? I don't know.
Well, he's libertarian, regardless
Oh,
of what
yeah,
you might
he
like
is,
about
he
his
is.
style or what have you. He's more libertarian than Barack Obama, as I'll continue to point out. Let's play a game. More libertarian
This
than
is
less
exactly
libertarian
why I
than Barack
kept
Obama.
I was
him on my
gonna-
team,
I was
by
gonna
the way.
say I didn't-
Exactly why.
He makes the
got-
rest of the team look so libertarian. That's why.
I was going to say I didn't like his criticism of other libertarians, but that's a pretty libertarian thing to do.
There you go.
So I'm like, damn it, he got me.
And you disagreeing and you not liking it is also the libertarian thing to do. So it works out great.
Yep. We're all libertarians.
Just taking a real quick ad break here. One of our Lions of Liberty Pride members, Tyler Colford, he reached out to me and he recently upgraded to our $100 level where he gets an ad. And he decided to use this ad today because he has a special message for you out there. He wanted me to let you all know that he's into long walks through the woods. He's into comic books, Graham Hancock novels, video games, and Austrian economics. And if you're into some of those same things, then check out his rap group, Jinx Inc. It's available on all streaming platforms. I was just listening to his song Bootstraps on Spotify. So check out Bootstraps. Check out Jinx Inc. That's JYNXINC. JYNXINC. Jinx Inc. Check it out.
We independent, you knew that. No government kickbacks, don't let sacks, just a mattress stuff with a few stacks. You gotta take it.
All right, Odie, what do you got? What do you got?
I could probably, not probably. I definitely could wait on this pick until the last round, but
So you think?
I think it's a great pick to.
If you're looking at him, I'm looking at him.
It's a great pick to wedge between Andy Sammer and Anthony. I can't say that. Andy Sammerhoff. Anthony. And Bob Murphy. And you guys might say she's not a libertarian, but
Here we go.
If you're
she's
teeing
been
up that way,
responsible.
I guarantee I will.
Oprah
She's been
Winfrey.
responsible for getting many, many nonviolent criminals out of prison. That's right.
Oh.
Kim Kardashian.
Oh, this is a retarded pick.
I support this.
You just torpedoed your whole team. You
No,
realize?
That is the worst.
That's a
pick.
brilliant pick.
No, you are
The
an
influence she has had, which has snowballed and caused this latest move by Trump setting more people free. She's had more of an influence on changing the criminal justice system than
Anyone?
maybe anyone in our lifetime.
God damn, man.
That's just the truth.
I think you're
Idiotic.
overselling her influence here.
No. Odie, I'm going to listen to you more. You got some good picks.
So surely my gut reaction is to want to just draft Kanye here, but
And you
Yeah,
spelled
obviously.
Kardashian wrong, whoever that
can't-
was.
that's me.
Kardashian. He spelled it like Cardass, like the Cardassians from
I
Star
spelled
Trek:
it
The Next Generation.
Like Kardashian. But I can't base my entire team around trying to spite Odie and counter
You
his moves.
could.
I
It'd be
could.
funny.
I called spiting Odie to be the whole team name. Maybe next time I'll do that. Instead, I think I'm going to draft someone that I actually think has been overlooked a lot, both maybe in the libertarian community in some ways, and definitely in these drafts. And I'm glad I thought of him just now because I did not have this person on my list.
Blue.
But his name is, I'm surprised Brian hasn't thought of him either. He's been on your show. His name is Lou Perez of We the Internet.
Oh, wow.
And I think I have him
Nice.
on my mind because he was just on Michael Malice's show. And he's a really solid libertarian, and he
Yeah, he
knows
is.
his libertarian stuff. Great comedian, great in the media, produces great content. Someone a creative mind I definitely want on my team. And anytime you can get a libertarian who has talent in multiple areas, I think he makes it great, especially considering we're in the 8th round. I think he's a great 8th round pick. Lou Perez. Boom.
How come on the spreadsheet, Dave Smith and Vince Vaughn are the only two names in all caps?
I don't know.
It bugs me.
The questions that's the answer. To bug
You have to yell them when you.
Oh,
when you
and
see
Joe
it.
Rogan, too.
It's fun.
And Ron
Because
Paul.
I happen to randomly hit caps lock those times, is my guess.
All right.
That's probably the real answer. So yeah, that's my pick. TBD, Rico, you don't get the pick right. Well, you do get a pick in a second, but your next pick is the 8th round Howie keeper pick. And so now you do get a ninth round pick.
Excuse me. I was going to take a Howie private DM recommendation, Alex Jones, but he's been discussed already.
Howie
so
is privately giving you secret advice.
he is.
Before you mentioned it, we were like, oh, shit.
Secret advice.
So I was thinking about taking Alex Jones. He might be primed for a big comeback. Probably not, but we could speculate and hope.
I hope so.
But so I'm not going to go with him. Instead, I'm going to go with a person people may know I used to watch Sean Hannity because I loved his ridiculous breaking news. But I've moved past Sean Hannity, and I've come to watch the Kennedy Show at the same time on Fox News.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite guest contributors is actually a libertarian. She's quite funny to me.
Oh, no, you bastard.
Well, I don't even know if this can't possibly be the same
The
person. as
show's
anyone else.
impossible without the teleprompter for Kennedy. That's
she
who
wa-
I will take.
She loves to talk about booze all the time.
You're going to take my pick, aren't you?
And her name is Kat Timpf.
Oh, Kitty Tim.
Really? Wow.
She's
Why
attractive.
couldn't you have picked Alex Jones like I said?
I can't believe anyone's actually thinking of taking one of my picks. That's amazing.
I was. That was my next pick.
Well, Howie, you're
Oh.
you're incorporated since you're on my team.
All right.
Don't be too mad.
A shocking maneuver. I actually didn't know she was libertarian.
I had no
I
idea.
thought she was one of those
yeah.
Republicans who sometimes.
No, she's libertarian. She's funny. She's great.
All right. Maybe the best pick on the whole team, actually. Maybe the most libertarian.
No.
Maybe. Oh, besides Howie.
Well, I'm scheduling a debate between all my members to see who's the most libertarian. So far, I have not gotten any RSVPs, but I'm expecting them to pour in any day.
Just Howie and Vermin Supreme show up, and that's it.
Oh, that'd be great.
And they're debating to be the presidential nominee for Team TBD.
Maybe I could get my pony early.
You could bring your own pony and really knock your socks off.
Just sent you a private message by mistake, Mark. Ignore that.
Oh, sure. I'm sure it's by mistake. All right. It's tough because actually.
Let me see your hair flowing again, Mark.
You just keep sending me private
Does the carpet match the curtains, Mark? Is it all long and flowing?
That one was to everybody. It was the same thing.
What, that question?
Yeah, we just had someone join us. Clever name. I don't know who that is.
Oh, it's somebody that had a clever name.
I'm not on Facebook right now because I'm in the middle of a podcast, so maybe I'm just not seeing what you're saying.
No, it's not Facebook. It's on Zoom.
None of us are on Facebook right now. It's on the chat.
Oh, well, okay. Oh, hello, clever name. Anyway, yes, you too can join the chat and join our Zoom chats and watch these live as we record them by joining us on Patreon at patreon.com/Lions of Liberty. Anyway, who am I going to draft here? Well, that's a tough question because there's a lot of people on my mind. I've got quite a short list, and there's only 2 spots left. But I've decided I need hustlers on my team. I need people that are out there busting their ass, making things happen. And this guy's been doing that since he came on the scene, since I first saw him.
He's dead.
Slide into my DMs one day and say, are you that Marc Clair? That Marc Clair of Lions of Liberty? He said that. That really happened. He has, just in a few short years,
well, that made me dislike this pick immensely.
Worked his way in. He now works for the Washington Times. Remzo Martinez, welcome to Team Lost in the Woods.
Remzo, you bastard.
Wow. Remzo can't even get to a fucking real microphone anytime we do a Legion of Doom episode. He's always recording it in his car.
More by the age of 24 than I did by the age of now. So I need more people like that on my team. So
it is crazy because when he was on Johnny Rocket's show, the first time I heard him, I think he was like 18 or something like that. Maybe 19.
I thought that was a rerun of Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Hey, Johnny!
No, just kidding. I busted around because he looks like a 14-year-old, but he is doing good work, man. I like his art. He's writing to talk up. See, I'm talking about other people's picks.
Yeah, please.
He writes some great content for the Washington Times, and yeah.
See, when we talk up each other's picks, we all seem smarter. So it's a little strategy there.
Yeah. And of course, he is on the Legion of Doom, which is the podcast that you can get. We need to record another episode, by the way. It's been way too long, and shame on us. But we started the Legion of Doom as a counter podcast to the, what was your podcast that doesn't exist called anymore?
That's why you're not motivated, because
League of Liberty.
Your entire
League of Liberty.
Your entire original foil is now gone, so you have no meaning.
Well, we did an unofficial one for that Democratic debate. That was essentially Legion of Liberty Doom. Plus Rocky Fahrenberg.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll bring back the Legion of Liberty Doom still exists while the League of Liberty is now long dead. I didn't realize Roger hasn't done a podcast in forever. I was thinking of drafting him, but he hasn't fucking done it in like
He's busy raising chickens and, things like that.
Was he Owen Benjamin?
Pretty much. Roger's our Owen Benjamin.
I'm one of his.
He is our Owen Benjamin.
I'm one of his Patreon supporters, and so
Me too. What am I paying for?
No, we pay every time he puts out an episode. So if he doesn't put out an episode, we don't pay.
Oh yeah, I think it's $2 an episode, right? Yeah, good. Yeah, that's a good system.
The people that do it by episode, I'm like, don't put an episode out this week. I don't want to pay you money.
We should charge by episode. We put out so many fucking episodes. We'd be millionaires by now.
Well, but then we wouldn't have. I don't know. I think the system
wouldn't give us
works.
the same amount of money if that was the case.
People adjust how much they give based on.
They're not going to just give us $1 million because.
Thanks, idiots.
We could have been millionaires if we just changed our pricing structure.
You see, it's supply and demand, Brian.
You're basically talking them out of it.
We just got to get them all out before they unsubscribe. Just pump out like 1 million.
That's what I call. That's what I call it when I don't get a lady pregnant. I'm like, we need to get all these out of you before they unsubscribe.
Just yeah.
All right. Well, guess what, Brian? We can skip Odie because his next pick is a keeper, Bob Murphy. And we can skip JB because his next pick is a keeper, the aforementioned Joe Rogan, which brings us back to Wake Up Freaking Punchy.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the Wake Up Punchy party.
We are nearing the end of the draft. I love it.
I think that I drafted him last year, and I think because he's going to be on. He's been on your show. He's coming on my show, or by the time this airs, he will have been on my show talking South Park. I got to draft Reasons editor Nick Gillespie, round 9. Welcome to Wake Up Punchy, Nick.
I forgot about him.
Did you say that? Because you
Yeah,
just booked
that's
him
why
on
my
the show?
team's the best, and I'm clearly going to run away with this.
That's a good pick based on the amount of New Reason listeners we have.
Trying to cater.
Well,
him.
especially considering the amount of New Reason listeners. Welcome and vote for my team by joining the Lions of Liberty Forum on Facebook.
Do you guys ever
Except
read
they don't get to vote this year, so good luck with
Yeah.
that strategy.
Oh, well, then join the Lions of Liberty Pride by going to patreon.com/Lions of Liberty.
I
I
didn't
can
think
join the
Reason
forum
had
first.
any libertarian readership because every comment I ever read, I don't even read their articles. I just read their comments, and their comments are always like, "This fucking statist," no matter what the article is about. But they're hilarious. I would like to draft all the Reason commenters.
It's kind of like YouTube. Just the worst denominator goes to the comments and just screams.
Yeah, like who's leaving comments? Think about that person.
Who's taking the time to write the comments?
Oh.
Like, have you guys ever gone? I know none of us have ever been to a porn site. But you ever gone to a porn site and there's like comments from people, like a lot of them? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you-
They're like,
There's
"Oh, I do that
subthreads,
to you."
debates,
Like,
there's polls. You're like,
like,
I'm sure
are
the
you
porn star is like, "Oh, you commented on my video. I'm going to direct message you and meet up
like
with you."
talking to other people about the porn?
I
Like,
love
like,
how your hair sparkles at 1803.
Well, no, here's my question. When are they commenting? Is it before? Is it during? Is it after? Because after you have
It can't be
more important
after.
things
It can't
to
be
do.
after.
No.
Can't be after.
So sticky. Yeah, ridiculous.
Okay.
Anyway, Reason comment is probably the same thing.
Howie, are you ready to end your
Anyways,
draft? Are you
I
ready
am
to
ready.
make 2 picks in a row and round off this team before you sort everything out?
I am ready.
All right, well then let's hear it.
Laura Branigan. I just saw your go.
Were you not there? I think Rico blacks out during every draft recording because it's always
What
signed
the
by his
fuck?
and everyone else's team.
She brought so much joy to Porkfest. Come on.
She did.
She did. She really did.
And I'm sure to the LNC also. She'll be there.
So one of the, I think, most important issues that we're facing today is the threat of having our guns taken away. And the organization that I think is doing the most against that is Gun Owners of America. And I am picking Larry Pratt.
Who I
He
believe
actually-
retired from the organization, but okay.
He actually showed up at some of our like town halls here in Virginia, just like as a concerned citizen that like lives here, like fighting for his stuff, not as like Gun Owners of America or anything, but just
I don't think he officially works for the organization anymore, but that's okay. You can draft.
I'm
him.
pretty sure he does
Okay.
because his name's still on. I think it's on the mailers.
Well,
Maybe it's-
nevertheless, he's still a libertarian, right?
Yeah, there's nothing. I'm not saying you can't draft him. I'm just.
he's still.
I guess
the
he is still the okay. He's called executive director emeritus now, so I think he's just an honorary title for life, probably because he.
He's still fighting for gun rights in Virginia, which is where it counts right now, and
Big
the
fan.
rest of the country is paying attention. So, Larry Pratt.
Well, you have Elizabeth Warren helping out now by taking on Bloomberg. So.
Yeah, thanks, Liz. Seriously, I last night I probably liked her more than I ever have in my life, which is barely at all, but still. Oh, for my last pick, I'm picking a musician who's a libertarian. Maybe not as much of a
Neil Peart
libertarian.
as another ghost.
Maybe not as much of a libertarian as the rest of us.
The lead singer of Rage Against the Machine.
Now, I'm picking Dave Navarro.
Dave Navarro.
Dave Navarro.
He's a libertarian.
Is he?
Yeah,
I've never heard this in my life. I believe it.
go ahead. Google
I don't believe
Dave,
it.
Dave
I don't
Navarro
need to Google it. I
libertarian.
just want you to explain it. Tell me about Dave Navarro's libertarianism. It's your team to sell, not mine.
So yeah, I'm sure he has not been, out there banging on doors and whatnot. But
He's been
Not
banging
banging
something.
bitches.
yeah,
Him and
But I
Mark
mean,
Whitney keep banging.
when asked in interviews and stuff about politics and that, he says he's a libertarian and he's the best guitarist in my lifetime. And people, especially young people, look up to musicians. He might not be the best libertarian, but like, oh hey, Dave Navarro's libertarian. Maybe I should look into that. And that's when we come in.
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. He's definitely more libertarian than Barack Obama, so it's a good pick.
Can I just rain on Howie's parade real quick, since he
Absolutely.
said
I'd love
to Google Dave Navarro
And you
libertarian?
did.
I
can't
know
wait.
I know he briefly supported Marianne.
Yes, I was going to say that.
I am aware. I was trying to keep it to myself. But come on, she was great. We all enjoyed her.
He's inspired by her belief as.
I think I
Hey,
briefly
man.
supported Marianne at one point. in the middle
Yeah,
of the
I
debate
too.
for
I
10
had
minutes.
I had the crystal ball.
She had
in
me
my
I
Google
eye.
think everyone was briefly under her spell for a minute there.
Mhm.
I still would be if they let her in the debates. And
I'm not
if they
holding it
reinserted
against
her.
him.
They're like, oh wait, none of these guys are working. Let's put Marianne back in.
And Dave Navarro, he's been on Kennedy a few times. So hopefully he'll do that again.
I didn't know he's actively talked about politics in public.
Again, I don't know.
Hopefully, my libertarian pick talks about liberty at some point in the future. I don't know.
All I want him to do is keep.
libertarian tattoos on Ink Master.
I don't know.
He hasn't so much talked about being a libertarian, but just look at him. He looks like a libertarian.
That's what Howie's basing this off of. Dave Navarro always encourages people to get bald eagles on Ink Master.
He's just a damn good guitarist. Come on, guys.
Great, solid sound foundation for a pick. All right, am I up yet?
Yeah.
I'm up.
Please do.
All right. Well, while I wanted to, with every fiber of my being, pick Howie's nemesis, Chris Spangle, to round out my picks, I can't, as I have to go with a man who, again, has not been touched here, but yet is still a prominent member of the libertarian community, a thinker, a speaker, a professor, Professor Walter Block.
Aha.
Wait, Walter Block hasn't been picked?
No.
Well, he has now.
What the okay.
Yep.
All right.
Is there any doubt that my team is winning, that I'm the best? Is there any
draft strategy? Always look at who's left
quite a bit of
before the
doubt,
end of the
yeah.
draft.
Oh,
You think really, Odie? You think
I guess I kind of took that for granted.
that my team is going to dominate the vote? There's no chance I lose. I'll put $100 on it, Odie.
You got one Republican, two Republican, three Republicans, four Republicans,
Are we counting Stapleton?
Beltway Libertarian.
I just shared a recent link about Dave Navarro being a libertarian.
I'm not going to read it.
Howie's really trying to make this pitch to the American public. Hey, Lions, just a little quick time out to tell you about our friends at Liberty International and Movimiento Libertario Colombia, who are inviting you to the 35th Annual Liberty International World Conference in Medellin, Colombia. This takes place from August 13th to 16th, 2020. If you go to this conference, you're going to meet many champions of freedom, including the great Mary Ruwart I see is speaking there. Been on this show a couple of times. You're going to meet people not only from South America, but from all around the globe. These conferences are family affairs where you can mingle informally with speakers and activists to form lifelong friendships and create an exceptional liberty network. The main topic this year is market solutions to government. That sounds like something you guys would all be interested in to me. Innovative and creative ideas will be a breath of fresh air for all of those who wish to make their countries more free and prosperous. And you can attend by heading over to liwcolumbia.com/lions. That is how you get a 10% off your ticket. You are going to want that discount. liwcolumbia.com/lions.
All right. Now, I hope that JB will draft Chris Spangle just to stick it that way.
I will most certainly not, sir.
I would never stoop that low.
So, similar to Howie's vein, I'm kind of torn. Well, I'm going to also pick a musician for my last pick, and it's going to have to be Mr. Antoine Andrew Patton, also known as Big Boy from Outkast.
What?
He has said that he is more libertarian. He's good on gun rights to JB.
I'll explain my rationale. Give me a
Please
second.
do. I don't even know. I know nothing of his politics.
Well, yeah, he voted for Gary Johnson. He did vote for Gary Johnson, and he has literally said he's a libertarian. Quote, "I'm for liberty, justice for all. Liberty for all. I'm really pro people and freedom."
Yeah, baby.
So he literally has said he's a libertarian in a press conference. And as Brian had mentioned, he is very much pro Second Amendment. And this is a quote: "Where I stand on the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms is not just for hunting and fishing and things like that, but it is the right of the American people to have a means of defense against a tyrannical government. Sometimes you've got to have that backup plan."
Big boy.
So for my final pick, I'm going Big Boy.
Okay, now was it racist for JB to presume that none of us would pick Big Boy earlier because we are not familiar with the rap scene as one?
Yeah, I thought he would drop.
I figured that is racist, JB, but also a great strategy. Well done.
I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but the fact that he voted for Gary Johnson, does that make him more of a libertarian than Bill Weld? Because do we think Bill Weld voted for Gary Johnson, or do we think he voted for Hillary Clinton?
I think he voted for Hillary Clinton.
He definitely. Yeah.
Bill Weld.
Has anyone ever asked him that?
The only reason he might vote for Gary Johnson is just because his name is there too. So maybe he would. Like, how do you
Bill,
vote against
did you vote for yourself?
Take me to the freezer and let's talk about it. Anyway, it's really tempting to take Bill Weld with my pick. But I don't think I'm going to make Liberty great again. What do you got?
Oh man, this is
I like
is
that our
tough.
agreed upon Bill Weld impression sounds nothing like Bill Weld, but we all know we all know what the fake impression is.
I just want to talk about for a minute my board for my last pick, and then I'm debating on who I'm going to pick next. It's hilarious. So
I'm really excited to see if Kim Kardashian is hosting your talk show or if you're going to draft.
Well, you'll find out about that at a later date. So
I know, but if you
So
don't draft a
Kim-
woman here, she is by default. So
it's just funny looking at my roster here, like who I'm contemplating picking: Kim Kardashian, Brian Callen, or Chris Spangle. Basically, you can't even tell them apart. They're basically the same person. So I mean, it's so now I'm between obviously with this last pick between Brian Callen and Chris Spangle. Difficult to decide. A lot of people might say Brian Callen, is he a libertarian?
Wait, Brian Callen
Yeah.
from The Fighter and the Kid?
Yeah. If I can just read a quick note here from his
He is not
podcast he was
libertarian,
on.
but go ahead.
Podcast he was on with Tim Ferriss.
He's
So
not
he
a
said,
libertarian,
good.
say, Howie?
He's
No, go ahead,
libertarian.
go ahead.
He's libertarian. Good
Sure.
because all those architects, all those people that created the intellectual scaffolding argument for the Iraq War, none of them have done a day in the military. And I would even go so far as to say they've never done a sport in their life. Not sure that has to do with it, but funny. Dick Cheney, I guarantee you, has never done a sport. And he
I like
sure
how
as
he
hell
just
has
done a
never
sport.
taken a punch in the face or punched anyone in the face. So I'd like to see how he reacts to what real pain is about. Fuck you, Dick Cheney. I'm taking Brian Callen.
Was that supposed
First
to
of
be a
all, who's never
libertarian
been
statement?
punched in the face?
Dick Cheney.
Has anyone on this panel never been punched in the face?
I've been punched in the face.
I've been punched in the face by some of my best friends.
Rico had a hilarious story.
I was punched in the face by Mark.
Rico, yeah. Odie and Rico on our last Degenerate Gamblers had hilarious stories of being punched in the face. One of their funniest episodes ever.
I think it was 2 episodes ago, but
Was it 2 episodes ago? Oh, yes, it was 2 episodes. It was our Super Bowl betting episode where we talked for about an hour and 40 minutes about nonsense. That was hilarious.
But
You
how
have to find the pride to hear that. So
what turned me on it recently, last time Callen was on Rogan, he was going after Rogan about Rogan leaning socialist and going on
Really?
some pretty good libertarian rants. So
wow. Which hour was that? 3 or 4?
that was our two and a half.
I thought I can't listen to Rogan. It's too funny.
Howie, what was your snarky attitude about the pick about? I want to know what you were, why you were laughing. Do you think he's not that libertarian?
I don't have the receipts right now, but he said things on
the
Joe Rogan in the past and on the Fighter and Kid podcast that are definitely not libertarian.
In what
I think
areas?
I think he's
Like,
funny. I like him.
Is he
But-
more or
and I-
less libertarian than Barack Obama? That's all. I wanna know.
more. Yeah,
Okay,
more. But
then he's
that's,
allowed.
that's the bar.
Then it's allowed.
All right, when this draft is over, I'm switching him out for the actual judging because this is getting absurd.
No, it's too late for that.
No, I think it's fair. If I can
No, I don't think
pick
so at all.
somebody that no one has picked after 10 rounds,
Well,
it's at the very end of the draft. What difference does it make?
We'll have to discuss that at a later date, I suppose.
everybody gets to do that. Then.
Are you going to flip out
This is like, we
Barack
gotta
Obama
follow
for Chris
Rob-
Spangle?
We got to follow
I
Robert.
don't even know. I don't even remember why he's on my team. Like literally.
because you picked him.
Well, JB, to remind you what happened was we had a post-show pride-only, special or bonus or whatever you call it, and you were going off about Barack Obama being better than Trump. So I slyly slid back in and put Barack Obama on your team, and then you just decided to leave him there.
No, but
And I discovered it the next show.
It was
like,
a
what the
different
hell?
show that he saw it and then
Yeah.
decided, okay, I'm just gonna roll with it.
Well, we
For
talked
whatever
about
reason.
subbing one out, so maybe you can sub that one out.
No, there's none of that's happening. Because no, you don't get to just give up picks. We might be able to do some kind of supplemental thing, but this is
But
not
that's
the time.
not a pick.
This is not the time nor the place to discuss rule changes. That can be done in private by angry emails from me. That's how that can be done. All right, Lost in the Woods. I want to end my draft with someone who is passionate about liberty, can get attention, is not afraid to draw attention to himself or to the causes, and is not afraid to get arrested for them, and has many, many times. And that is someone that Brian and I met this weekend and spoke with in person.
AK-47.
Adam Kokesh. And that's because I also know that Rico is scouting recent podcasts and might have had him on his shortlist. So I want to maybe screw him a little bit too. But I think Adam Kokesh has really refined I think he's really a much better speaker than he was even 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think he's worthy of a 10th round pick for sure. So Adam Kokesh rounds off my team.
Can we just, I don't know who Clever Name is, but Spangle is basically a white Obama. I found that.
It's true.
It has nothing to do with Mark's pick, but
No, it's a comment worth making.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it to my attention. I missed it. The last link I posted is a Fox Business video, Dave Navarro explaining why he's a libertarian.
Great, Howie. Great.
Nobody cares, Howie.
Save it for the campaigning aspect of this when we actually let the Pride vote on the best team.
There'll be a whole nother episode where we explain what everyone's going to do on our team, and then we'll have a campaigning season. There's so much more to come, but this is
all right, guys. And also, I sent one more link. It's just me masturbating to Dave Navarro.
It's a private
guitarist. And I rubbed it out to him several times. This is one that I sent him. I DM'd it to him on Facebook, but I wanted to send it to you guys as well.
Sincerely, Howie. Okay.
Go team! Go talk Tom Woods Lions.
Rico, are you ready?
Can I make this pick? Because we're well after 1 hour of the podcast, and I was told this would only be an hour podcast.
It's a shocker.
Yeah, I know. But when I say an hour, I know that means 90 minutes because you people will never shut up. And
First of all, it's comical that Mark thought that he might have my last pick anywhere on his radar. It's funny. Okay. So I thought I would go a little outside the box on this pick. So
just a little.
This is a little controversial.
SquarePants, everybody.
This is a little controversial, but because my pick's economic policy, global economic policy, is a little questionable, as is our adherence to the non-aggression principle. But on the other hand, my pick is completely open borders and does not discriminate in its views on any nationality.
A chocolate ice cream cone.
It's also trying to take down one of the world's worst tyrannical governments.
The coronavirus.
My pick is the coronavirus.
I knew it, you fucker. Predictable, Rico.
You cannot pick a virus.
Not allowed to pick a virus.
It's a living organism.
No,
It is not.
No, viruses are
It is
not
not
alive.
a living organism.
This is not.
It's not even
finally
fucking
it's
alive.
NAP, Rico. So
This is
not libertarian.
You could have picked this in the ghost round, but not now, buddy.
That's an excellent try, and I give you credit for making the effort, but no way.
Nope.
All right.
Oh, but then again,
it's a
the
good try.
coronavirus is killing a lot of communists.
Rejected.
It is.
That is pretty.
And it might take down Xi Jinping.
The only thing that's killed more commies than the coronavirus is communism.
Damn,
you
that's
should
good.
you should pick communism.
Make a meme.
I should
Make a meme out of that.
I'll make it tomorrow. We'll post it the lines.
I agree it shouldn't be allowed, but it's really hard to justify anything when we already allowed a fictional character Brian made up to be drafted. But I digress.
He's real. You can hear him. You can listen to him.
All right. Well, I'll take the ruling of the 5. So,
all right.
Whatever.
I rule.
You've gone too far.
Yeah, you can't do it.
They finally. It took 4 tries over 3 seasons of drafting, but you finally went too far.
Yeah.
God damn it.
You found the limits.
We can't allow this. We can't allow this.
Fine. All right. Well, I don't really have a backup plan. It's going to be
The entire draft was based around the coronavirus.
You could still go with Alex Jones. It's not too late.
No.
Oh, that'd be too far.
It's not too late for anybody except the other 100 and whatever the hell number of people we drafted. 60.
All right. So I'm going to do a sports pick since you guys did a bunch of musicians picks. This guy came out in support of the Hong Kong protesters for freedom. Then he shut up because his job was in jeopardy. But he soon, my prediction, is going to lose his job because his team is not going to do shit in the NBA. And this is his last hurrah. So I'm going to come out for Daryl Morey, GM of the Houston Rockets.
Okay.
I thought you were picking LeBron James for a minute.
No,
I thought you were too.
Never pick LeBron James. I'd rather have Baker Mayfield over at my house and pick LeBron James.
Baker Mayfield banging chicks in the cheek.
No, he's only got
Mayfield.
Do you think Mike Tyson might be a libertarian?
No, I doubt it.
I just heard something about Mike Tyson that he smokes $40,000 worth of marijuana a month.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
How's that possible?
Well,
He's getting ripped off.
Doesn't he own like a spa, like a marijuana spa or something where you just
apparently.
Something like that.
By the way,
But that
Rico, I'm sure. Why didn't you just take Adam Carolla? You had him on your team last year. He was available.
Am I in this to win it? I don't know. Come on.
That's your life.
I'm losing anyway, so I might as well try and be entertaining.
Rico reminds me of Rick now from Rick and Morty. It's the way he says things and
The way he goes through life.
Yes, the way he goes through the stuff.
How do I go through life?
Like, it makes no sense and it's all over the place, but it's also strangely genius, and it always ends up being genius.
Genius and nihilistic.
Well,
I don't know if I go.
But I appreciate the comparison.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say that much.
We'd be posting the teams like on.
It gets us
the
talking.
forum.
I'll say that.
Yeah, we need to get a poll going in the pride.
We're so far away from a poll.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we did another show
We're so
before
far
that.
away. We're
Wait, what do we need
multiple
the
shows
show for? We're done.
No,
We got to
It's all
set
the
who's doing
No one
what.
has
We
even
got to
said
put them
who's
in their.
doing what.
Oh,
Put 'em in
God,
their
that's
spots.
That's a
stupidest
whole
part of
other
this
show.
fucking draft. It's so stupid.
That's
So-
the only part that matters.
That part does not matter. Get
Of
rid
course
of
it
it.
matters.
It's idiotic. It doesn't.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like that part either.
It's idiotic.
You guys are
What,
welcome
the
to forfeit
positions?
the draft right now if
The
you want.
positions don't matter. They're dumb.
Of course they matter. They
They don't matter.
They don't
let's-
matter to the voters.
What
People
positions?
people look at the names and that's it. They don't care about the positions. That's stupid.
I think
I
it's a
seriously
part of the
doubt
draft.
anybody's
It matters.
voting
It's a part of
It's
strategy.
only a part of the draft because Mark made it up and we used it and it's dumb and we shouldn't do it.
Well,
Vote
the
right
whole
now.
thing's made
Well,
up.
again, on the
Yeah, all
ELL
sports are made up,
on the
Brian.
Electric Liberty Land
Everything's
2024
made
draft,
up.
you can have your own stupid rules, but we're gonna have my stupid rules because I made the draft exactly. So
On Electric Liberty Land's draft, there's going to be blackjack and hookers.
So since we,
and hookers.
do you know how long it takes? While Brian's complaining, how long it takes to do every subsequent episode of the draft?
Exactly.
The last episode. Well, no, I'm countering your point. The last episode was in September, the beginning of September,
Exactly.
when I still thought the Browns could go to the playoffs.
You got plenty.
This
of
is so long ago. I thought Freddie Kitchens was going to be a good coach. So we
that's
could
idiotic.
do the next episode and we could do it at 3 a.m. at the LNC at our
Oh, maybe we should.
Airbnb
There
that
you
was
go. There you
supposedly
go.
already booked.
No, Rico, we're filming 17 episodes of Dr. Science that weekend, so we don't have time to do Liberty Draft.
We have plenty of time.
JB, bring your lab coat
17?
and bring your ties.
And
We'll buy you some other
17
ties.
ties.
I'm going to ship a lot of paper mache
Bring your ties.
and
Is
chicken
this
wire.
Is this a Q illusion?
No, we are doing Dr. Science at the LNC.
All right, this sounds like stuff we can all discuss off air in an email chain where I get angry.
Yeah.
Not in
Sounds
this
more fun to
format.
talk about it here, though.
Or we can do it in a bonus show, but I'd like to wrap up the main show right now.
Well,
Sure.
do it now
You
because
got-
my wife's angry at me, and I think she's drowning our baby.
Well, what else is new?
Yeah.
Do we have any final thoughts on the draft? Anything you want to say about your team? We'll do it next time, right? We'll do it next time.
Yep.
If you want to hear what else we talk about on this, you should be on Patreon. You should be at patreon.com/Lions of Liberty. For as little as $5 a month, you get all of the amazing bonus content, including whatever we talk about it in a few minutes, and as well as the live streams of these very shows. Good night. Good luck. I can't wait to know why Brian just stormed off angrily. But until next time, my friends,
His baby.
Live long
And
Live